Hello! We did it! So, we've made it. Thank you for being with us for the month. If you're just joining and this is the first time you've ever seen a video from the Bike Coalition, how did you find this video? My name's Mr. Kevin. You can tell because it says my name right there. And this is the final week of our month of information and ideas and conversations centered around bike theft. And so we've discussed a bunch of different aspects of it, and we've done it with the help of different members of the Bike Coalition, friends of ours, including people like Jesse. Hi, Jesse. And so we wanted to cap off the week with personal stories. So we asked you all on Instagram and on Facebook and on other social media, give us your stories about bike theft. Tell us anything interesting that specifically happened to you regarding bike theft. And in the process of doing that, one of the things I realized is everybody's got a story about bike theft. Yep. You've had a bike stolen, Jesse?
Two.
See, there you go. I've had a bike stolen. My family has had bikes stolen. I remember as a kid. And there's similarities that you find in all these stories. But then I thought, well, what's more interesting than someone who's had a bike stolen before? It's someone who's never had a bike stolen before. Congratulations.
A unicorn in the room, that's for sure.
So, we are joined today by Elizabeth. Hi.
Hello. How's it going, you guys?
Give me your 20 to 30 second biography.
Oh, wow. Okay, hello. My name is Elizabeth. I grew up in San Diego County. I spent a lot of time in Colorado. I went to school there, spent some time there after school. I fell in love with biking while I was in Colorado. I came back to San Diego, joined a bike club, do some solo riding. I'm a musician as well. I rock climb, do yoga, play tennis. I'm very active, and I ride bikes, and I love bikes. I love what bikes do for humans.
So, as someone who rides bikes a lot, you have more than one bicycle?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
And do you have more than one lock?
So here's where things get kind of twisted.
Sure.
Is currently I do not have a lock. And the reason is that I prefer to literally treat my bikes like children and babies. And if I have to go in somewhere, I'm either with a friend and I say, watch my bike, person I trust, or I bring the bike in with me and I have a hand on it at all times. Or if I'm sitting down, I put the bike next to me. That is how I've lived my life. I am in the market for a bike, or for a bike. Well, I'm always in the market for a new bike. But I am in the market for a lock, and here's why. I just moved to Normal Heights, and I know that I'm going to be starting to go out more and do more city, because I grew up in the country, so it wasn't really a thing I had to worry about. Locking up my bike, I could always just kind of bring it in, but now that I'm in the city and going to be going to restaurants, I am in the market for a lock, and I would love to get a U-lock. I will spend insane amounts of money on the lock because I would rather spend money on a new lock than a whole brand new bike.
Sure.
So that's kind of where I am with locks.
And that's one of the things that we've talked about in the streams previously is, one, there's no such thing as a lock that can't be broken or picked. It doesn't exist. It's possible to break every single lock that's ever been made. So there is no substitute for keeping your bike at an arm's length.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And I did when I was going to school in Colorado, this was before I got into road biking, and I thought that Target was the place to go for high-end bikes.
Sure.
Like, seriously. Which Target has amazing bikes, and it's awesome. But I got a bike that wasn't going to be like a Target on campus. Yeah. And so I did have a lock, and it was like a cable lock that just had like a 4 number passcode on
combination,
it.
yeah.
And combination. I ended up using it so much that like the little like rod that goes in started to like bend, and it stopped being able to fit in. And at that point I was getting ready to part ways with that bike anyway, and we gave it away to a bike or a nonprofit that fixes up old bikes and gives and refurbishes them. So that is my story. I don't have that bike anymore, but now I have 2 road bikes, and haven't had any issues. I have left my bike in the car covered up for short periods of time, and I can make sure I always see the car, or just use my best judgment. If I put a bunch of stuff on it, no one's going to be able to tell if there's a bike in there. Sure. And I've done a lot of like cross country moving. Like I've moved to Colorado from San Diego like 3 or 4 times. And every time I bring a bike, and when we sleep over, we usually do one night in like Cedar City, Utah. I always bring the bike into the hotel. Always. Never just leave it in the car overnight. Even if it would be covered up, I always bring it in. So
you're hitting on a couple of things that we've covered, which is the don't rely on the lock. I mean, get a good lock, but don't rely on it 100%. And then also, you don't have to be the fastest person who's running away from the bear. You just have to not be the slowest person who's running away from the bear. And so you have to make sure that your bike isn't the most beautiful bike in the bunch. If there's another bike that's more attractive than yours, someone's going to go for that one. Have you ever done the thing, and I know of other people that have done this, removing components of the bicycle in order to make your bike less desirable? I know that that's a trend, but I guess for you it wouldn't be an issue, because again, it's just never out of your reach.
Yeah, no, I've never had to do that. I have heard of people like spray painting their frame, which I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes me like, But just to like take the logo off, be like, Specialized? Nope, this is some cheap random bike here. Yeah. So no, I haven't had to do any of that, luckily. But I haven't. Both of my bikes are investments, not only monetarily, but also like they hold huge amounts of meaning to me.
Sure.
And I would be absolutely devastated if something happened to either of them. I have one road bike that's a little bit nicer than my other one, but even if the lesser one was stolen or something happened to it, I would be absolutely crushed. So I recently, I was the victim of a smash and grab, which was horrible, but I learned a lesson from that. But the whole time I was thinking, I would rather it be this than my bike. Yeah. Like that's where my, obviously I'm safe, thank God. But like, if this was my bike, it would be like 10 times worse. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
The tips that we came up with previously, and this is from last year even, one was make sure your bike is registered on Bike Index. 2 is make sure it's locked. 3 is all the components are locked, and they've got these special pinhead locks that only work with special tools, which again, it can be defeated. It's possible to do it. No lock is perfect. Filing a police report, and then you can register the bike even if it was already stolen. And then social media is great. That's one of the first things I hear from people when they do get a bike stolen is check on Craigslist, wait for them to resell the bike somewhere, and then go find it. Obviously, that's at your own risk. You ever use Bike Index before?
I did. I actually did. I registered that Target bike I was talking about while I was like on campus. I think I did do that. I haven't with my other ones. So this is a reminder to do that.
Definitely.
But
so what I'm hearing is there's no substitute, and you're a real life case of the fact that there is no such thing. There's no lock that's better than just keeping your bike right next to you.
Or in eyesight.
Yeah. And you can relate, I think, and you've probably heard the same story as I have, where the times that are most likely to get your bike stolen are the times where, I'm just leaving it for a second, and I'm going to run inside and get a cup of coffee, and I'm going to come right back, and it's going to be fine. Yeah. Why would I bother locking it? It's going to take me longer to lock it than it will to go in, so what's the point? And then that's when it
and
gets
then boom. Well, and also, I do want to add another thing. One of my good friends, she was an old roommate of mine. She was getting into biking. She spent a lot of money on like a giant mid-level, mid-range giant like commuter bike, and she was living in an apartment complex in Del Mar, and there was a bike room. And there was a lock on the bike room.
So you would assume that it would be safe in the bike room.
So you would assume that it would be safe. And she was like a beginner rider. She didn't have a lot of experience. She trusted the system that if you want to keep your bike safe, put it in the bike room. No, like people, she got stolen. She went down there to hop on her bike, and it was gone. And it was like, I felt so devastated for her, because I'm like, you get tricked. It's almost like a trick. Like,
and you think you're doing everything right. You're doing everything you're supposed to do.
Yeah, you're doing, well, yeah, the apartment complex told me I can't keep bikes in my apartment or on my patio, then put it in the bike room, and then it still gets stolen. So that was devastating. And what can just keep it with you.
If I remember right, Mr. Kevin, I think that happened to us at the office.
Did someone come? Oh, at our yes, that's true. There's just, it's a good reminder that not taking anyone's word for anything when it comes to security like this. And even to the point where, and I've mentioned this on another stream, but assuming that, my bike is here in public and there's a lot of people walking around, so therefore no one will steal my bike, is absolutely not true either. There's the number of people, and even if someone walks up with bolt cutters and physically cuts a lock, the number of people they're going to say, "Hey, buddy, is that really your bike? Show me some identification." Like, that's not a thing,
No one's going to say that.
Don't rely on the promise of a secure bike room. Even, they have bike lockers in San Diego. They exist at transit stations. But if I was going to put my bike into one of those, I would still absolutely keep the bike locked when it was in one of those. And if it was a bike that, if it's anything in the world that I can't afford to lose, then that means you can't afford to lose it. And there's different things that you have to do, like never let it out of your sight, like Elizabeth does. Before we wrap up, so you're wearing a Bike Coalition shirt. I'm wearing a Bike Coalition shirt. We have a t-shirt design contest. We did one last year, which resulted in the Life by Bike shirt that I'm wearing now. I'd like us to have another one. We would like us to have another one. So we've got our Bike Month t-shirt design contest, which is going to happen for the entire month. If you're seeing this and it's before May, then you're in the right place. So we're getting people to submit designs. You get your design put onto the shirt, and the shirt gets given out and sold all over San Diego County. A bunch of people wearing your design, which is very cool. We've got some swag bags and stuff to give out for the winner as well. So any graphic design experience at all, or just want to draw a funny picture and scan it on a scanner and send it off to us. Maybe that looks good too. I don't know. So wanted to give people that option. I think that's about it. Any parting words regarding the act of theft, your bike specifically, bike trips, anything at all along those lines?
I would just say, again, just don't let it out of your sight, even if it's locked up. If you're going out for drinks or breakfast, if you ride your bike out there and you lock it up, just make sure you're sitting in a place that you can see it, because like Kevin said, even if it's in the daytime, that doesn't even mean anything. So just love your bikes, love yourself, and make sure you're making the right choices out there.
Wonderful. Maybe that should be the t-shirt.
That's right. I love that. That's cool.
Okay, thanks everybody. We will see you next time we go live. Thanks for being here. Make sure and follow us on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, maybe. Figure it out. We'll see you on the road. Thanks and goodbye.
Thank you.